This was me 2 years ago. I was messaging a bunch of business owners trying to land my very first high-ticket sales position. But it didn't matter how many sales gurus I've watched or what books I've read. Something just wasn't working. I just couldn't quite figure out why people around me are seeing success and I was the one failing. But then at September 2022, everything changed. Landed my very first closing position, followed by another sale after 3 sales calls. And before I knew it, my very first month in high-ticket sales, I've made $7,000 in commission while sitting in my bedroom. Now you're probably wondering, what exactly changed? What enabled me from getting rejected time after time to landing my very first sales position at 20 years old? Well, it's these principles right here that we're gonna discuss in today's video. But before we dive right into it, why should you listen to me? Well, I've trained and placed over 100 sales reps from their very first high-ticket sales position by just simply implementing these simple principles that I'm gonna cover in today's video. A lot of people that tries to get into this space have a lot of ego. When they come into this, they have a high expectation and what they deserve. But in reality, they're not as good as they think of. And that's number one pitfall beginners make when they're trying to break through in the high-ticket sales industry. In 2024, we're seeing a high influx of beginners trying to get into high-ticket sales. And you know what that means? More people, more competition. A lot of beginners will think that simply taking inbound calls is easily going to get them that position that will easily make them 8 to 10K a month, but they're completely mistaken. Learning sales itself is valuable, but you have to pair it up with another skill set. A lot of beginners will come into this space thinking like a 9-to-5 worker. You have to innovate. You have to think outside the box. You can't just think another regular 9-to-5 worker anymore, and you need to start thinking like an entrepreneur. You need to be proactive, you need to solve problems and innovate on how you approach the sales game. If you're getting to this space and you have completely zero experience, you have to give as much value as you can, not just by simply taking their inbound calls. You have to start giving suggestions to the business owner. What can you do better in the marketing? What can you do better in the sales process? And all these things are accumulated experiences and knowledges that you can acquire through books, through videos, through mentorships, and through the networks that you will be connecting with while you're in the space. This is a long game. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, and you shouldn't think that you're so good that you're gonna just take inbound calls and you're gonna easily make your very first commission by just simply taking inbound calls. The very first offer that I landed, I made sure that the marketing is pristine, my communication with my team members are locked in, and this helped us increase our show-up rate and therefore actually got more commission this way, and I was able to negotiate to get a higher commission because I was adding value to the offer creator that I was working with. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you're in the same boat as me 2 years ago, transitioning to high-ticket closing, struggling to close deals, and you've probably been in some offers, but you're not making any commissions. Again, this year, you cannot take the same approach as last year. You have to come into this space and think like an underdog and have a student's mindset and don't have any ego inflated because people can smell that. And if you're humble and if you're willing to learn and you're willing to put the work in, people will feel it and they will be more trustworthy towards you and they will be more open to actually work with you. So some of the core principles that you need to keep in mind is continue to have a student's mindset and remove any ego when you're starting off here. Make sure you think outside the box and you have to think like an entrepreneur and become innovative. So you might be asking, Elijah, that's good and all, but how do I actually land a good offer so I can start closing deals? So you probably heard the golden rule of high-ticket sales before, where if you want to make 10K a month, the offer needs to be at least making 100K a month. But here's the catch. It's actually insanely difficult to look for an offer out there that's doing 100, 200K a month or more, even $500,000 a month, and land that very first position as your very first high-ticket sales role getting into this space. Because those offers are ideally looking for closers that has experience with at least $1 million or $2 million in closed deals or in cash collected to take their calls on their behalf. So for you trying to get into this space who barely have any commissions or who made barely any sales or just have some type of sales experience, how do you actually break through to this space? Again, I'll tell you a secret. The very first offer that I landed, they were not making 100K a month, but 90% of high-ticket sales rep was sold in a dream that they can easily just land an offer, make 10K a month, take inbound calls, and that's it. And then they'll easily just replace their 9-to-5 job and then get into this space just like straight path to financial freedom. But that's not true. The reality is the industry is constantly changing, and if you're not adapting with the industry, you will get left behind. The way I was able to adapt and was able to make money off of the high-ticket sales industry is by renovating the way I think. I realized I was thinking like everybody else when I was not making commission on the very first offer I was in. I was telling myself, oh, this offer is not good. It's not getting consistent inbound leads. It's not getting good show-up rate. But all those things are things that I can actually control and give suggestions to the business owner I'm working with. But again, the problem with the people that's getting to this industry, they're just thinking like a 9-to-5 job. One of the biggest mistake I noticed, once they land their position, they're waiting for the business owner to tell them what to do. If someone's telling you what to do right now, then you just transition from your in-person burger flipping job to a 9-to-5 job online. You need to start thinking like an entrepreneur. So what I did is I started giving suggestions to the business owner I was working with. I regularly hop on a call with her to make sure that the marketing is locked in, the communication is good, and we're getting enough leads, and we're fixing the sales process. We're making sure that the website before they hop on a call is good, so the show-up rate is good, the communication with my setter is good. Therefore, I have more information hopping on the call, and it's an easy close. And again, all of these things points towards one of the core principles that I've just mentioned earlier is have a student's mind and think like a business owner. This is actually one of the things that I've been helping my guys inside my community implement. I like to call it the closing hybrid operator. Essentially, you're not just a commoditized closer, you're actually giving feedback to the business owner and giving them suggestions on how to grow. You're not just completely reliant on the business owner giving you all the leads, but you're able to scale the offers with them, and you're not just simply depending your entire income to the business owner that you're closing for. Now, you know exactly how to scale a 30-40K a month offer, again, get it to 100-200K months alongside with the business owner. This not only gives you better leverage, this also gives you more money, more commission to actually get in an offer, even though they're not doing 100K months as a business. And I know a lot of people out there are insanely good at sales, but if you can't showcase your skill sets, you won't be able to flourish and get those commission they deserve. I'm guessing you're already pretty decent at sales. You've been doing the trainings, you've been doing the mocks, you have some past sales experience, but you're struggling to get in front of people to actually give you a chance. Unfortunately, with their ever-changing industry, you have to adapt along the market, because if you can't, then you won't be able to showcase your skill set and make the commission that you deserve. With the growing competition in the high-ticket sales industry, you have to constantly innovate and have a student's mind. Become proactive, make sure you know exactly what you're doing day in and day out. You're not just being completely dependent on the business owner's leads, but you yourself knows how to generate your own lead and how to scale a business alongside with a business owner. That's exactly in how you will separate yourself from the beginners and how you will get those commissions to roll in your bank. So if you're stuck at 3 to 4K months and you're interested to learn more on how to break past the 10K months, go check out the description below where I show you exactly on how you can break past that. And if you're interested to learn on how I help high-ticket sales rep break past the 3 to 4K month commission range, the so-called death hamster wheel of the high-ticket closer space, and break through the 8 to 10K month commission, then go ahead and check the description below. I have a free gift for you where I break down exactly on how you can do it yourself if you're a closer, a setter, or a high-ticket sales rep yourself currently. Check out the description below. There's a new age coming, and I hope that you don't get left behind.